What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it's time to give you my 2023 post-spring college football top 25 poll for the upcoming 2023 college football season. Spring football has been completed. Spring practices are over, and now spring football games are officially done. We have now got the post-spring college football top 25 poll here. I'm going to give you my own top 25. I gave you my early pre-spring top 25 poll back then when we first did the off-season videos, and you can go back and watch that video in the playlist that I've had for all my off-season videos that I've done, throughout the entire off-season for college football. But anyways, we're going to give you my post-spring college football top 25. I think this is what the poll will look like after spring practices, and like I said, it's going to be based off of, the spring practices that the teams had, and of course how good the team was in their spring games. So let's just jump right into it here with my post-spring college football top 25 poll. We'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top as usual. We'll start from 21 through 25. We got Oklahoma at number 25, Ole Miss at number 24, Texas Tech at 23, Wisconsin at 22, South Carolina at 21. I think this is going to be an Oklahoma team that can really have a pretty good season. I know they had a 6-7 record from last year, but I think this will be a better team than they were from last year as well. Oklahoma had a pretty good spring game to look at, so I think, with Dylan Gabriel coming back, it really gives them a lot of hopes for this upcoming season. Ole Miss are going to have the talent. They're going to have the offensive, team. They're going to have that Lane Kiffin offense with them, and I think this should be still a really good Ole Miss team. But, their schedule is obviously tough. Their schedule is really tough this season, but I think Ole Miss has what it takes to be a really good offensive team. And, this team in their spring game, they got some good quarterbacks in their, system. They got a good running back system as well. They can run the football. So I'm kind of expecting Ole Miss to be a running team this season. Texas Tech at number 23. I think this is one of the underdogs in the Big 12 this upcoming season. I think they'll have a really solid season perhaps. And maybe not like a 10-win season, but, I think they'll have a decent year. Like I said, I think they're going to be a dark horse contender in the Big 12 this upcoming season. So Texas Tech here at number 23, Wisconsin at number 22. The reason why I put them here in this top 25 is just because of, Luke Fickell. I think he's really going to turn this Wisconsin team around. And I like how I like the direction so far for this Badgers team. I think, they're going to have a pretty good season this year under Luke Fickell's first year. But the question is, will they win 7 or 8 games? That's the question. But their spring game, I think, looked pretty good, really solid there for them. So Wisconsin here at number 22. South Carolina at number 21. Obviously, Spencer Rattler coming back is going to be huge for them, and I think this is the reason why they belong on this top 25. Here are my post-spring top 25. I don't know if they were even ranked in my pre-spring top 25. I have to go back and watch that video and see if I made any changes to the top 25, but I definitely made some changes. I know some of the changes that I made, ever since, that pre-spring top 25 poll. But that's from 21 through 25. Let's now go from 16 through 20. North Carolina comes in here at number 20. This is a team with Drake May coming back at quarterback. I think this will be a pretty good team this upcoming season. TCU at number 19. They're definitely going to be a lot different this year, but I think they still belong here in the post-spring top 25 poll. Tulane here at number 18. I think this is one of the top group of 5 teams heading into next year. Even though I don't really, study the group of 5 teams that much. But based off of where Tulane was from last year, I think you have to put them here in the top 25. And they were not even ranked, I think, in the FBI rankings. When we went through those FBI top 25 rankings, some of the teams that you're seeing here in my pre-spring top 25 were not even ranked in the FBI top 25. So that's really interesting there. Kansas State at number 17. This is a team that was not ranked in the FBI. I was really surprised that they didn't put Kansas State in there after what they did from last year. Basically winning the Big 12 championship, and that's the reason why they're also ahead of TCU, is because they won it all last year in the Big 12. So Kansas State, I think, deserves a lot of credit from what they did last year. And I think they definitely, deserve to be in this top 25 and this post-spring top 25 as well. So I got them at number 17. Oregon State at number 16. I watched a little bit of DJ Ogilvie in his Oregon State spring game. I think he's going to be a better quarterback this upcoming season. I mean, it's a new offensive system. It's not that Clemson offensive system. that he's not going to have, this upcoming season. Maybe he is a better quarterback this year, so I think, you're kind of expecting DJ Ogilvie to be a consistent quarterback this upcoming season. And that's what I'm hoping for DJ Ogilvie. I mean, he's had a rough up and down college football career, so we'll see how it goes here from Oregon State. He's coming from Clemson, now he's going to Oregon State. I think they have a better offensive system down there than they do with Clemson. So that's from 16 through 20. Let's now go from 11 through 15. This is the top 15 now. Oregon at number 15, Utah at number 14, Texas at 13, Notre Dame at 12, and Clemson at 11. Oregon is a team that, Bo Nix has got, the arm talent. He's also got the Heisman, quarterback talent like him. I think this is going to be an Oregon team that's going to be really good this upcoming season. With Bo Nix coming back at quarterback, it's definitely going to be huge for them. Same thing with Utah, Cam Rising coming back at quarterback. You got Utah and Oregon, both teams that have their returning starting quarterback coming in from last year, coming back. And if you saw my top 10 quarterbacks list video that I did, maybe last week, I think it was, I did have Cam Rising and Bo Nix both in the top 10 there, and basically maybe in the top 5 as well. So Utah and Oregon, I think, are both going to be pretty good teams this year. Texas at number 13. I know people are saying, how is Texas really higher than Utah and Oregon? They're coming off an 8-5 season last year, but their spring game, Quinn Ewers looked pretty good in the spring game. He was really accurate with his throwing, and also Arch Benning does what he does. But you got to remember, Texas has 3 quarterbacks out there that are battling for that starting job. I mean, no telling who's going to be the starting quarterback heading into 2023, but Steve Sackerson said that Quinn Ewers is our starting quarterback. He just looked really good in the spring game, but, Texas is a team that, is getting a lot of hype, and that's why they're here in the top 15. And like I said, I was really shocked when Texas was ranked number 5 in the FBI top 25. I just think that really made no sense to me. But this is a post-spring top 25 now. Based off of their spring game, they had a pretty good one. So, and like I said, Quinn Ewers was really accurate with his throwing in that spring game. Notre Dame at number 12. Sam Hartman looked pretty good in the spring game. They had a quarterback that transferred just out. Maybe he can go to Alabama. I've been hearing rumors about, that quarterback going to Alabama. But I think Notre Dame's got all the talent they need. Sam Hartman definitely looked pretty good in the spring game. He's one of the top quarterbacks heading into next year, I believe. But he's not one of those top quarterbacks, maybe besides Caleb Williams or maybe like Michael Penix, for example. But he's definitely in that top 10 conversation for definitely, quarterbacks heading into the college football season and definitely heading into the NFL draft for next season. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. This is a winning quarterback as well. He can really do things on the offensive side of the ball. So Notre Dame, they look pretty good in their spring game. The defense looked pretty strong as well. Clemson at number 11. I didn't watch their spring game, but, I heard about some of them, saying that Clemson's offense looks a little bit better. But I think, Clemson, their offense is going to be the one concern this upcoming season. Defensively, I'm not too concerned about that side of the ball, but Clemson definitely has to get the talent, going down there on the offensive side of the ball. If it's a really bad season this year for Clemson, I mean, they could probably lose, Dabo Swinney perhaps, and also the recruiting rankings are going to keep dropping for Clemson. So this is 11 through 15. Let's now go to the top 10 now, 6 through 10 here. We got Washington at number 10. I like where this team is heading. I think Michael Penix is definitely a top 10 quarterback and obviously a top 5 quarterback as well. I think he's definitely a future first-round pick as well for this Washington team. I think, any NFL team would take him. But, Washington's spring game looked pretty good as well. Michael Penix looked pretty accurate. I don't think he was really all that bad. So, Washington here at number 10. This is definitely a team that's got a lot of production coming back. Tennessee at number 9. It was a short-scoring game here in the spring game with Tennessee. We saw, the freshman Nico get in there, and then we saw Joe Milton get in there. And I actually went to the spring game in Knoxville. I kind of looked at it in real life, and I don't think, Tennessee's offense was not really that strong. The defense looked pretty strong to me. Tennessee's defense looked pretty strong to me, and I think, the defense is kind of improving a little bit on that side of the ball. But it comes down to that defense this year. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about the offense for Tennessee heading into 2023. Penn State at number 8. I think this team is definitely getting a lot of hype. Their spring game looked pretty accurate. They're going to have a new quarterback this year, but I think Penn State should be overall still a really good contender for the Big Ten East. USC at number 7. There wasn't really much to talk about Caleb Williams because he didn't really play that much in the spring game, but we know he's going to be the starting quarterback, and we know USC is going to have that high-powered offense. They're not really too concerned about that position. I am kind of concerned about the defense for USC. If the defense can get it going, this USC team has a really good chance to be a dangerous team heading into next year, but they're number 7 here in my post-spring top 25. Alabama at number 6. I watched their spring game, and the quarterback situation was really, inconsistent. Their quarterbacks, were not really that accurate. And that's why I have to put Alabama outside the top 5. I think people would put Alabama in their top 5 perhaps, but I have to put Alabama here outside the top 5. I think, with a quarterback situation, I think it's going to be a really tough season for Alabama, depending on who the starting quarterback will be. Will it be Jalen Monroe? I mean, he's not pretty accurate with his throws. I mean, we saw that from last year in the Texas A&M game. He got pressured a lot in that game last year when he made the full start a little bit. But Alabama is definitely a team that, is having some quarterback problems. I mean, maybe they can turn things around a little bit, but, the quarterback situation, I think, is the one thing to concern about for Alabama heading into 2023 when you watch that spring game. So, but again, it was a spring game. It's not like it's a real, game or anything like that. Maybe they will be better by the time the season comes around, so that's from 6 through 10. Moving on to the top 5, we got LSU, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia, all in the top 5 here. LSU, I think, is definitely a team that, deserves a lot of credit from what they did from last year. And I think in their spring game, they look pretty good as well. Jaden Daniels looked pretty good, as accurate as he is. So LSU here at number 5. Florida State, I think this is the reason why they're here in the top 5 is because of the hype they're getting and also their returning production. Their spring game looked pretty good as well. Florida State's got a pretty, a lot of production coming back, and that's the reason why I have to put them here in the top 5 with all these really good teams. Ohio State here at number 3. They're going to have a new quarterback this year, but all the quarterbacks look pretty accurate as I saw it in the spring game, so I'm not really too concerned about that position anymore. I kind of am concerned, though, for the, offensive line, but, I think the defense will be pretty strong for Ohio State as well. I think that wide receiver group looks pretty good as well. The secondary for Ohio State looks pretty good as well. So Ohio State here at number 3. Michigan at number 2. I watched their spring game. J.J. McCarthy kind of threw some interceptions, but I think they're fine from where they're at right now, and I'm not really too concerned about Michigan's offense or their defense heading into 2023. And then Georgia here comes in at number 1, similar to Ohio State. They're going to have a new quarterback this upcoming season. But I thought all the quarterbacks looked pretty good for Georgia. I think this will still be a really good team. I think the defense kind of looks strong as well for Georgia, so we'll see what happens there on both sides of the ball. But if you look at this top 5, these are the teams that really stand out to me after their spring football games. I think, you can put them here in the top 5. Maybe you could put Alabama in here as well, but based off, the quarterback situation that Alabama had in their spring game, I have to put them outside the top 5. So LSU, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia are my top 5 teams after the spring football season. And those are my post-spring top 25 rankings. Let me guys know what you think about these top 25 rankings. Who do you think belongs on this post-spring top 25 list? Let me know down in the comments below. And stay tuned here for more sports content on the Lucas Ross Sports Channel.